Good evening. Good evening. Hope all is well to everyone out there. It's been a minute. One moment while I get rid of this music. I'm up here struggling to get rid of the music. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right there. Boom. There we go. All right, now, good evening. Welcome. It is Wine and FaceTime, episode 56. Tonight I'm talking about I piggyback off of last week. We caught last week's segment. I pretty much dove in, from my perspective on the whole shebang regarding the alleged TD Jakes, alleged P. Diddy, alleged Tyler Perry scandal. It was short, it was brief, it was cute. Shout out to everybody who came through last week for supporting the channel and the stream and sharing it and liking it and joining in on that stream. It was really interesting. Tonight's conversation is a little bit different because from last week to now, some things have changed, and the things that have changed is that allegedly they're saying it's not true. But to each his own, whatever. We're going to proceed as normally. So I want to do a part two regarding, what you guys thought about what I talked about regarding the whole scandal of TD Jakes allegedly being involved in the Diddy situation with Cassie and the girls and all the other BS, blah, 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 blah. That's the main conversation. So a lot of you guys who are doing your research, you guys already know that there are a lot of people out here saying it's not even true. So, some of you may say it's not worth talking about or maybe worth talking about, but good evening. Thank you guys for pulling up on me. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. Hope you guys are all doing well. It's episode 56, and it's been a while since I've seen everyone in real time. Shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to the chat right now. Are you guys in tune? Are you guys aware on alert? Are you familiar with this conversation? Yes or no? Do a real quick backtrack. It's pretty much long story short. Maybe a month ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Social media and blogs took to some information about T.D. Jakes being involved in P Diddy, regarding the freak offs and underage women and all kinds of sexual exploits. And researchers are saying or theorists are saying that it's true, it's not true. We all have our different opinions. None of us really know. None of us are in Hollyweird where all this weird, crazy stuff goes on. But you never know, TD Jakes is a pastor. He has the Pottery House or the Potter's House. He has segments with different people. He's well respected in his, in his craft and what he does. And to a lot of people, it's like, no way can this happen. To some people, it's like, yeah, we suspected, but I feel like these are things we'll probably never know until we see some kind of indictment kind of thing go on, and all of a sudden people are in court or have to give motions or have to not give motions, but have to speak up in court or hire an attorney and stuff like that. So it's very, very interesting to me. There's another population of people saying, this is just an attack on black men. These things, these allegations are not real. These men are not doing these things. They're just trying to strip these black men of their credits and their money and their talents and their royalties for what they do in the business. So there's several different opinions out here about, what's really going on with all these back-to-back scandals with men of Hollywood, men of race, men of hip hop, men of culture, men of this industry. Excuse me, guys, I'm a little sick under the weather. Um, all of a sudden, all going down, for the same kind of crime that other men are not going down for, or some people are being made an example of and other people are not. We got the Epsteins, the Weinsteins, the Cosbys, the Kellys. We got so many of the people to name: Black, Brown, Latino, Caucasian, different descents. And everyone has had their fair share of how it went for them. So what do you guys think? Like, even if this was plausibly real, like, would you ever see this man going down in court, getting stripped of his royalties and jewels? Same thing goes for P. Diddy. Do you guys think that can really, really happen or not? What do you really think? So chime in. That's what this segment is about tonight. This is definitely a part two. Part one, I was on a lot of stating facts and showing videos and highlights of the videos I saw that came out And so you guys may have seen it on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, the Shady Room, maybe Jaguar Jones may have posted it, maybe Tasha K may have posted something about it. We all have our ways of how we get information online. So I'm pretty sure if I was talking about it, other people talking about it, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So from your perspective, is do you believe it's true? Do you not believe it's true? Do you believe what they're saying now that it's a lie? And he just happened to come up there coincidentally for however he did, and they're just trying to make an example out of him. What do you really think? Or do you feel like, what, I don't even care. Like, that's none of my business. Like, that ain't my daughter. That ain't my friend. That ain't my circle. So why should I give a F? You could definitely feel that way as well. Definitely could. For me, I don't have any TDJ products or books or services. I never bought any memberships or anything like that. Diddy, of course, I've definitely listened to some of his music and everything like that, like R. Kelly, like Bill Cosby, like Weinstein as well. I didn't know who he was in Hollywood until the scandal came out. I didn't know he was involved in all these producers and directors, and I didn't have any of the background information like many of us did either. Didn't either. So, I don't really want to say, I'm banning anybody, I'm muting anybody, because that's not what I'm saying here. But the thing is, if this is real, are we muting people? Are we banning people? Are we taking it there? Are we just turning our heads, turning our cheeks, not paying any mind, and just saying, oh well, that's somebody else's problem? Do we have a perspective on this, or do we not have a perspective on this? But good evening. Thank you guys for watching. Whoever's out there watching with me, thank you guys for pulling up, watching, helping the audience algorithm views. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hope you guys are having a really um, planned, safe New Year's. If you guys are going to be going out, bars, clubs, relatives' house, in the city, outside around the ball drop, definitely be safe. You know, um, I'm not going anywhere. I definitely am not okay with being outside of New Year's Eve. There's a lot of stuff going on in the NYC. But for those of you who are out there going to be doing something outside, much respect and, watch your back. Do what you got to do while you're out there in the streets, to have a happy, joyous New Year's Eve. But speaking of New Year's Eve, we have New Year's resolutions coming in as well. So definitely put in the chat what's your New Year's resolution. Got a resolution out there? Put it in the chat. But real talk, the real conversation for tonight, I really want to know what do you guys think, in unison that every man that we've seen on TV and the news and court is guilty of the allegations? Or do you think this is an attack on men? There's a big population of people that think it's just an attack on men for, their accreditations, their livelihoods, because they may have said no to the wrong person, for those conspiracy theorists, people that think like that out there. Are you that kind of person? I'm kind of sort of that kind of person sometimes. But I'm not here to persuade or make anyone, shift, their judgment or anything. I just really wanted to know like the real feedback you guys had. You guys have followed the conversation. But what I do want to mention, side note, is please definitely support my new channel, Grapevine, and my Grapevine new channel. I have over 2,000 views on that channel already, so it's doing really good. Audience likes me over there, so definitely give me a like and subscribe over there to NY Grapevine. And I see some comments in the chat from Jose Negron. He says, I'll be attending a New Year's Eve party indoors on Times Square. Very nice. Be safe. Times Square's a really exciting, lit, popular, high populated area on that day. So definitely have your guards up and be safe and, definitely, be well aware of your surroundings and environment, be present. There's a lot of wacko jackals out there, especially on New Year's Eve. For me, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna just be in the house watching the ball drop. I don't have any plans for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I do have plans, but that's neither here nor there. That's not the conversation for tonight. But have you guys heard about this TD Jakes thing, P Diddy thing? Have you guys heard about it? What do you think? Like, are you following it? Are you not following it? I definitely wanted tonight to be about what people think about it. It could be that because the information I dropped that TD Jakes is innocent, it has nothing to do with that. Maybe people are just totally just saying, what, I don't care about the conversation, the discussion anymore. He's been cleared. It could be that. I don't know. But what I do know is that when there's smoke, there's fire, and it may not be him, it may be somebody else we're not thinking about. But what do you think about this? It's so salacious, so hot topic tea, and so too vivid to not have some kind of truth in it. For the most part, lies stories like this don't come from nowhere. They say there's some truth in every lie. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Even if they're saying it has nothing to do with it, They saying TD Jakes owns the Shade Room. I don't know if you guys heard about the Shade Room. The Shade Room is a popular blog content channel on Instagram. They have a lot of tea and facts and theorists and reporters and research and analysts and lawyers who post a lot of hot topic trending information about celebrities, what they're going through in real time, from breakups to divorces to marriages. So scandals like the TD Jakes and Diddy and Tyler Perry thing, like that's what the Shade Room is like. It's definitely like celebrity tea, industry on blast, Gossip City is that kind of channel on Instagram where you get a lot of free content with details, links, website, URLs to share, later and to do your own research on. So yeah, you may want to look into that. But that's my perspective on it. I definitely hope it wasn't true. Definitely don't know if it's true. Definitely haven't done all my research currently to say that I've heard all the information about it being a lie, how it's a lie, why it's a lie, what proof they brought forward to say it's a lie. I don't have any of that tea at all, so I'm not going to pretend to have all the facts because I don't. But I definitely heard from a few sources that they say it's all a lie and it's not even true. So you guys can let me know how you really feel about it. You know what I'm saying in chat. If you got some information, some real resourceful tea or data or evidence driven information about, T Jake's perspective and, where he sits in this, you can definitely, let me know. You'll be informing me of something I don't know right now. So definitely bring that information if you got it. And it's just crazy. It's just really crazy, if this could possibly be true. He's a pastor, a person of God. I believe he's a Christian. And not that people of different religious base don't make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We're all human. But it's like that's a big reach. And again, I definitely shared that video last week of TD Jakes and Diddy at the Potter House, and Diddy was in the front row, and there was a caption and a comment from someone talking about why Diddy was at the TD Jakes Potter House, what he was doing at the sermon, and we all can draw our own conclusions. But shout out to the 18th letter. Hey, thank you for pulling up. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for pulling up. You guys make sure you subscribe to Uncommon Sense Jose and Grown. Please show him some love. Of course, the 18th letter. Definitely show them some love. But it's really, really salacious. It's really, really scandalous. Like you just never know what you're gonna come across, what you're gonna hear, and it kind of brings some sense and solidity to while some childhood actors just chose to be childhood actors and not adulthood actors, or while some actors just stop acting and do something totally different, and they just don't want to be a part of Hollywood, the Hollywood parties, the themes, the scandals. They just don't want to be a part of anything. Like example, Lorenz Tate, Morris Chestnut. You don't hear anything about these black men at many of these celebrity Hollywood parties or events. They got wives and families they go home to. They pick wisely what they want to deal with, and do even Wesley Snipes as far as contracts and deals and movies. And they're very picky. I don't think these are yes men. And there's some women, also Caucasian, Black, African American, Brown, Latino, who make these same kind of moves and decisions as well. But this is specifically about the men right now because a lot of men in Hollywood, hip hop, arts, liberal politics, government have recently been going down back to back to back to back for some kind of scandal, some kind of misappropriation of money, funds, or all kind of wicked ish we thought wouldn't be happening, and we voted for these people in these positions that gonna make this change, and so again, it's some of our favorite actors, basketball players, singers, that have like the crazy background going on that we don't know about, and people sometimes get confused and conflicted with, do I care about what the actor is doing behind closed doors, in his or her private life, or do I just love them for the craft that they do? And I don't care about what they're doing outside when they're not doing their craft. There's people that look at all of this like this, that don't blame Diddy, that don't blame R. Kelly, that don't blame Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein. They don't blame any of these people because they love them for the crafts of what they can do. So, what is your perspective on it? How do you look at it? What do you feel about this conversation? Like, I'm really interested to know because, again, as generations grow older, times change. What's acceptable changes. From what age a woman can date, have a baby, what age is considered rape, if rape is considered rape, depending on the state and country you're from. Like, time evolves and all of these things change with it socially, economically, and statute of limitations sometimes don't change, and amendments and rules and bills don't change as far as as fast as the times change. So we constantly have this conversation often, because it happens. It's news. It's not news in some places. So again, if this is true, what they're saying, regarding all these powerful men in Hollywood, Hollyweird, the Tyler Perrys, the Diddy's, the TD Jakes, these powerful, powerful men. And this is, the Christian Keys. We had Christian Keys come out and have a conversation of vulnerability and weakness and and just being submissive to say about what he's been going through in his life as an actor in Hollywood for his career. So it's just really like there has to be some truth into this. Where there's some smoke, there's some fire. Like too many people ain't gonna be talking about the same thing. There don't be no truth in that story, So it's like even if they're saying he didn't do it, does that really even mean anything? Is that the real truth? So many people have said they do it, and they did it. So what does that really mean? You know what I'm saying? What does it really mean? But I want to be quiet. Like I've been talking a lot. I see the chat, going in. Happy holidays, happy New Year's, guys. Um, hope you guys are well. Thank you guys for pulling up on me. Um, I want to hear your feedback. What do you think about tonight's conversation? Is this your taste? Is it not your taste? Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? Have you heard about it? Have you not heard about it? Little research, light research, no research. Sort on social media, news, TV, somewhere, heard it word of mouth. Are you educated on the topic at all for tonight? And if not, that's all good. Thank you for just popping in, pulling up on me and saying, hey, good to see you. I know you've been going through some things and good to see you on the live. I appreciate and welcome that all very much as well. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna be quiet right now. See if anyone, says anything. Give it a minute or two. I may drop the link depending on, what guys people got going on. I know it's a hot weekend. It's not a hot girl summer, but it's a hot weekend. It's actually New Year's Eve weekend. So I know people are out there probably trying to party with Diddy and T, Jakes and Tyler Perry. Just jokes, just jokes. I don't really mean that. Just trying to see if you guys are woke and actually watching. Shout out to the three people that's watching. And again, if you see this in the replay, hashtag replay, let me know you're about this conversation. I'm definitely a little bit under the weather. You guys can hear that in my voice, I'm pretty sure. But not too under the weather to do this live stream. So no one has any commentary. I'll definitely wrap this up. I know you guys are all out and about, probably about to be seeing loved ones and probably out, with family gathering or friends gathering. It is a holiday weekend. So that's respectful. Understand that people are, definitely doing things. So I do get that. I respect that. But I'm good, y'all. Thank you guys for thinking of me, sending texts, calls, liking videos on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, for those who follow me on all those platforms. Thank you guys for continually showing your love with the phone calls, the texts. Appreciate that. Like to the moon and above. Also, I want to send a big shout out to Alana Hepburn. Shout out to Alana Hepburn. She gave me a call this evening, gave me some real great kind words, and I really appreciated her for those words. Definitely uplifted my spirit. So shout out to Alana Hepburn. You know who you are, girl. Thank you for that check-in. That was really sweet of you. Really appreciate that. So I have a comment from Jose Negron, which is uncommon to Jose Negron. Now, guys, I told y'all, make sure y'all like and subscribe to this man's channel. Not only him, the 18th letter. Also, big shout out to Irby Fatal. I'm not sure if he's going to start his channel with this channel or not, but he's having a channel too. So stay on the lookout for him. But yeah, if this is really a situation, is really sad for the Christian community. It's sad for aspiring artists, creators, singers, writers, talent, producers, executives, directors, anybody in that realm of entertainment that may cross paths with any of these individuals at any time. It's sad for all of those people. And you can kind of probably wonder why Mr. Keys probably didn't want to drop names so much initially, because Hollywood gets real scandalous and fishy and funny when things don't go their way. So I definitely could kind of sort of understand why he's being somewhat quiet. on, dropping too much tea too soon because a lot of wicked stuff can happen. And I'm pretty sure he knows that, which is why he said he did what he did regarding giving copies of evidence to certain relatives if something happens to him because he knows it can get that serious that quick. Um, I have another comment from Uncommon Rosanna Cone. He says the Bible is clear about homosexuality. To be honest, guys, I ain't going front. I've definitely read the Bible probably maybe once or twice in my whole adult life, front to back. And I was told you're not supposed to read it front to back, supposed to read it in passage and section as you need it, you apply it. But I read it front to back, and it was a lot to digest. So I don't really remember anything about homosexuality in the Bible, but I probably definitely need a new read or new version to read and catch up on, or new audio to listen to even hear that part. But ah, I don't know, it's enough argument about when Jesus was born and when Jesus rose, with regard to all the religion. So that's a whole other conversation for another time. But was good just chilling to keep it popping through. Um, it's crazy, anybody's capable of anything. Real things like this happen all the time in every community, especially the Black, Brown, and Latino community. We hear about rapes and molestations. Oh, I'm sorry, rapes and molestations. We hear about it in the household. We hear about it within the friends circle, within the school circle, within the community circle. We hear about these things all the time. We're not immune. Yeah, I guess we are kind of immune to these things, but we've heard about it for so long that it doesn't really phase us anymore. We've heard about the Boy Scouts, being touched, elementary school kids being touched, people in the household touching, people in schools touching, gym teachers, math teachers. We heard about the teacher that married her student, had babies with her student, ended up dying, years later. Like, we know this happens, and again, in certain cultures, this is not a crime depending on how you look at it. Because every religious person looks at different values and morals and ethics and codes they follow. And some women are, mothers as early as 13, 14 in some cultures. That's a real thing. So, call it grape or call it, culture or call it people doing what they got to do for survival. A lot of people will probably be flabbergasted if presented with a certain amount of zeros behind a number to do something. Some people may be scared, shocked. Some people maybe say, okay, nobody knows me. No one's going to find out about this. I'm going to do what I got to do. And some people will be appalled, ashamed when they call the police and report it and much, much more. So, it's really, really interesting, to how you want to look at it. But everyone has an opinion, and my opinion is not your opinions, some of us have been through great similar stations and we have a personal feeling and viewpoint on it. And we know people who've been raped or molested and we know how they are processing or how they did not process or how they got therapy or did not get therapy. But it's always an older man, or older aunt or older woman who's well mature, seasoned to groom and control the atmosphere. It's always an older person for sure. Sometimes it could be a little cousin or a young horny something, but there's always someone that everyone knows and loves and respects and will never expect it coming from them. That's just how it goes, especially in the Black, White, and Latino communities. So again, talking about the TD Jakes, Tyler Perry, R. Kelly, P Diddy thing is like I think anything is possible. Anything is possible. This day and age, you can't count nothing out. Look what happened with R. Kelly and all the girls running up to the court claiming they was pregnant, running away, and they was eating feces, all that other BS. We see this a lot in the hip hop or Hollywood community. We're definitely becoming more immune to it. And I think we've become so more immune to it because everyone has something weird and freaky and nasty going on. From the Krishan Rocks and Blue Faces and Jaden and Lexuses to, the Baddie East girls and, the Love and Hip Hop and, the Housewood Hollywives of this state or that and that third. Like, it's just overly sensationalized everywhere to the point where it's like, yeah, sure. And again, for the Christian community, I'm pretty sure TDJ has a lot of supporters that are even going to pay benefits any time of day. They wild with that man hands down, pot and pans. They don't leave any skin that ever comes out about him. Excuse me. Same with those fans of P Diddy and Tyler Perry. But that Christian Keys source is kind of saucy. Like I'm wondering when he's going to drop the name. I've heard he did drop the name. He did drop the name. So much to keep up with. It's just really a lot of information. Excuse me. Jose says is considered an abomination. Yeah, yeah, I definitely heard about it being that abomination. I even hear about some people not even wanting to marry or let people, of that group do that because they feel that way. But what you guys got going on, that's all my opinions and viewpoints on the conversation. If you have nothing to add to it, like I'm done with that conversation at this point. What I got going on for the New Year's though? Anything special? Anything planned? Anything booked? What's going on with y'all? I definitely wanted to just pop in on this live stream. I definitely wasn't really feeling like doing a live stream. I'm trying to get out of my slug. Like, you know what, Michelle, you gotta just do it. You gotta just do it, period. Get out of your funky space. Although you like that comfort zone, get out of that funky space and just do your live stream. But yeah, I'm definitely going to. One moment. So that is the link to the live right now. If you want to pop in and share your tea or your viewpoint or your opinion on the conversation regarding if it's an attack on men, black men, brown Latino, men from the hood, poverty, who are successful trying to do things, being brought down, or do you believe that they all did this ish, period, point blank, even if there is rumored now that they didn't? Like, if you feel the way you feel, you want to just state your opinion, please feel free to pop up on the panel and let me know how you feel and why. Not just they did it or not just it's an attack, but why? Why do you feel the way you feel? So I have my first guest popping up on the stream tonight. Please welcome to the stage. You guys know him, Uncommon Central Jose in the Grown. Good evening.
Good evening, Keisha. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Thank you
Um,
for popping
you're welcome. Um, I got a few things to say. First of all, let me make this perfectly clear. Um, a person is innocent until proven guilty. So we don't know whether the allegations made regarding these three individuals, whether it's true or not. Um, Time will tell. Now, what makes it unique regarding T.D. Jakes because he is a minister of the gospel. Okay, so he's by the nature of his role, um, he is there to preach what we consider the unadulterated word of God. So whenever there are allegations regarding anyone that's involved with any activity, such as the one that TJ Jakes is accused of, it's a very serious matter because whatever you might want to view the LGBTQ community, the Bible itself consider it abomination, and there are numerous verses in Scripture that support that. I mean, look, I have no problem with the community. That everyone's free to live their life as they see fit. It does that um, when you have someone, of a man, so sort of man of a cloth, accused of anything considered ungodly, it is a serious issue.
So that's the real thing I want to know because we see what all this Hollyweird celebrities, powerful men in powerful places, people can say what they want to get away what they want because of who they are, what they have, and where they come from and what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, T.D. Jakes, Um, so it had a little bit of controversy because it was years ago um, when in one interview he actually stated that the Black church and the LGBT2 cross community can coexist very well. I don't want to make any comments regarding the Black church itself because obviously I'm not Black. However, him talking about that the that that the Word of God is ever changing and adapting. One of the few things that you can count on that's not going to change is the Word of God itself. Now I know that there are people who do not hold the views I have, which is perfectly fine. However, if you go to state that you are a Christian, that means you have to embrace the entire message and you have to embrace the Bible in its entirety.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with you on that. I feel like a lot of people just are not using their noggin right now. Sorry, I have some background noise.
Yeah, it's okay. Good evening, Georgia. Thank you very much for stopping by. So, um, like I said, we don't know whether these allegations are true or not. Um, but however, anything that's hidden sooner or later will be brought to the light. So we just have to wait and see. As far as what I'm doing for New Year's Eve, I'll be going out to a New Year's Eve party in the Times Square area. So I'll be able to watch the ball drop um, via television.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
So, and look, one thing we have to bear in mind. Now, generally, I don't make resolutions because, first of all, let's keep it real. Most of the time, the people make resolutions, they don't keep them. They might keep it for a week or 2 weeks, maybe a month. After that, basically, it becomes like, well, it's a nice thing to think about, but very few people actually keep resolutions. So, in fact, I'm going to be doing a stream on that topic. Of all things, New Year's Day. I mean, I think what people should do is they should think about realistic goals that people should think to do. Okay, and they have to be honest with themselves regarding uh, what they're able to do, what their current circumstances. Because let's take a look at some of the resolutions. Number one, lose weight. Okay, that sounds nice, but if you don't have like a strategy um, to deal with it, how to lose weight, you're gonna fail. And eventually, after a couple of weeks, you're gonna give it up.
Very true. I want to just send a shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for pulling up. Shout out to Millennial Mulatto, Giorgio, Just Chilling. Thank you guys for popping in on me before New Year's, especially you, Jose. You got a whole schedule going on. Thank you for popping in on me before New Year's. I appreciate it.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And first of all, I just want to say a huge shout out to my supporters. I mean, actually, there's been a lot of growth in my channel within the last 3 months. I gained like close to 50 subs, and actually, believe it or not, I have reached over 50,000 views on my platform.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and a lot of it has to do with the shorts I'm doing. I mean, um, I find it amazing that some shorts got like 500 views, a couple are like over 1,000. I have one short that actually got over almost 5,500 views.
Yeah, it's really interesting, to see how something that doesn't take a lot of effort can pay off so fast versus something that takes a lot of effort.
Well, one thing I always said before is that it is a sprint. It's not a marathon. It's a sprint. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So you're gonna have weeks where it looks like you have very little activity, and then you're gonna have weeks it's gonna go off the chart. And in fact of the matter is, I've gained over 10,000 views with in less than 4 weeks.
Well, that's very good. Keep up the good work. You know, like you said, everything is true. There's good weeks, bad weeks, productive weeks, still weeks. So it happens to the best of us.
Yes, but now, like I said, no, no, like I said, we're just gonna have to wait and see regarding what's gonna happen with these three individuals. Um, I am reserving my judgment when it comes to whether these people did what they did, because first of all, I'm not there with them. Number one. Number two, I don't know what lies in their hearts. So I would rather not make any judgment regarding um, these three individuals. All I can say is, if the allegations are true, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, you know, because again, just like with all the other men I listed earlier today, a lot of people have these diehard fans that will switch up on them, or who will just be angry about the allegations, or who will just stop supporting them. So these are strong allegations that can actually ruin careers. These are not just little rumors. These are really strong allegations.
Mhm. And one thing we have to be mindful of, sometimes people will create false allegations to try to ruin someone's career. Like I said before, I don't know whether these allegations are true or not. I think what we should do is, you know, wait until all the evidence has been entered and then make our assessments accordingly. I think it would be premature to, if we make a decision whether these allegations are true or not true. Okay, um, time will tell.
Hey, 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 hey. Thank you, Jose. I agree with you, and I'm gonna take that note on this as well. Like, I'm gonna just after tonight, I'm not gonna like say anymore. I'm gonna just watch and sit back.
Good evening, Raken.
Hey, shout out to you, Jose. Shout out to my YouTube wifey, Kashelle. What's going on, girl? How you been?
Hanging in there. What do you think about our conversation tonight? Have you been listening behind the scenes?
Yes, I have. I was able to catch some of it. Not all, but I was able to catch some of it.
All right. Well, last week I did like a closed panel where I just talked my thoughts about it, and I'm like, all right. Irby was like, you should do another one where people can comment and put their tea on it. So, what do you think? Have you been following up on the conversation regarding TD Jakes, Diddy, Tyler Perry, and all of that?
Yeah, I've been hearing certain things here and there, and me personally, I think it's just hearsay until we see some proof. As far as what's going on with them, like even with the situation with Diddy, I gotta because it's certain things too. A lot of people don't take into consideration. Like even I have to uh challenge myself because I know even with the whole Cassie situation, I haven't read the paperwork but behind what Cassie is saying. But I will say this when it comes to the situation with Diddy. Do I trust Diddy as far as business? No. I think Diddy has followed the business. I think he has followed the business blueprint with his artists that has been put in effect by previous record industry owners prior to him. Well, as far as he exploits a lot of his artists for writing credits, um, a lot of the artists never got their full comprehend, never got their full what they never were paid or compensated fully for everything that they put into the game, whether it be the Black Robs, whether it be the G Depths, whether it be the Totals, whether it be the Locks, different people that was signed to Bad Boy. So do I think Diddy exploits his artists? Mace, do I think he exploits his artists and uses people? Yes. But as far as what goes on behind the scenes, I don't know. From what I hear, it's a lot of hearsay, and the thing is, when people say certain things, we have to understand what's the motive behind that. Like Big Gene Deal, he's been saying a lot of stuff about Diddy, for quite a long time. Mark Curry has been saying things about Diddy, but those are people that are disgruntled with Diddy over pay as well. So if it's somebody that you don't like, that you feel like they never paid you well, whether it's true or not, even if it's not true, you're gonna lie and say, this person is this, and did this behind the scenes because you don't like that person and you wish the worst for that person. But a lot of people don't put that into consideration. As far as TD Jakes, I'm not sure if any of this stuff is true or not. We knew Bishop Eddie Long, what happened with him. That was truth, and it was proof that was behind that. But I'm very skeptical on things without any type of proof. I think that most people just want to feed into it because a lot of people like trauma. A lot of people like things to take their mind off of everyday life, and they feed into a lot of what's going on. Me personally, I got too much going on to feed into hearsay and rumors. Until I see some proof on what's going on, then I'll start believing it. But a lot of people like gossip and rumors to get them through, I guess.
Okay, so with all of that said, would you prefer to say that this is just an attack on black men? There's a group of people out here saying that this is just an attack on black men to make sure they stay in their lane and they don't surpass a certain level. So do you feel like this is either just not true or this is just an attack on black men? Like do you weigh either way for you, or you feel like no on both sides, like this is neither or?
I think it's a possibility. It could be an attack on black men, and some people will say I'm biased because of my perspective and thoughts, being a black man myself. But this is not something that's new. It's always been like, like even when you look at what Bill Cosby, do I agree with everything Bill Cosby has said in the past? No, I don't. But all of these people that then came out and had these allegations as far as he did this and did that in the 60s, where were you when, why did you come out at that particular point when it happened? Because he was less powerful back then than what he is now, especially in that era when it comes to black men and black men being scrutinized and having a microscope on them. You could have easily, and that would have been a story that everyone would have loved to put out there. So I think it's a money grab. I think a lot of things are a money grab. I think it's a lot of people that's out here that was, let's say if it was certain things that was going on behind the scenes, they was with it. Like, Cassie was with, Diddy couldn't have been this horrible. You stayed with him for 10 years. As a young girl, he couldn't have been that horrible if you was with him for that long. That means you had become accustomed to the lifestyle you were living. You became accustomed to the trips. You became accustomed to the fashion, to the Versace, the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton, the Lamborghinis. You love that lifestyle. Now you've been with the man that you've with for the last 3 to 4 years. Then all of a sudden you bringing out allegations as far as Diddy did this, and you're doing it in civil court, and then you're saying you're doing it for women, and this is a win for women. But the second that you got that money, we ain't heard nothing else from you. The women ain't heard nothing else from you. So, like, a lot of people need to be very careful. And my biggest gripe with black men that gets into these industries, I don't care how many elbows you rub with some of these rich Israeli people or some of these rich white people. At the end of the day, you can't do what they do because it's no stigma attached to them. They're not going to be viewed as easy targets like you are. So quit thinking just because you're friends with Hugh Hefner that you can do what Hugh Hefner do. You can't. And that's the thing that a lot of that's the thing that people that's the thing that gets me with people, because we've been hearing rumors from about the industry for God knows how long, and it's a lot of people that still want to participate in this industry for some reason. And that's the thing that gets me. If I'm hearing all of these things about, they want me to do uh some type of same gender erotic type of stuff. The only thing I know, if I'm put in that situation, and this is just from me on the outside looking in, I'm gonna say no. If you try to push me into doing something I don't want to do, then I'm gonna get very violent and physical after I tell you no the first time. But like that's it. That mean I don't know, like, to think that it's some type of secret mafia behind that's getting people, because Cashel, you always hear, oh, they did this or somebody had this person. I don't think
Hmm.
it's not no secret mafia, but because these people are too famous to do that. If a lot of the times, if I was plotting on getting somebody out the way and I do that, and sometimes people happen to find out who the person that I used to pay to get that person out the way, that person is gonna rat me out. And that's the thing. They're gonna rat me out, and I'm too famous to be in the predicament where I hope, because it's too many avenues to get to me, and as far as people extracting um uh as far as people extracting money and wealth from me and all of this other stuff. But me, I do believe a lot of the times it is an attack, and I think it's time for people, like a lot of people, to use their common sense, that stay away from a lot of this other stuff and try to keep your situation as clean as possible, because it ain't gonna it ain't gonna get you nowhere. But a lot of these people, the funny thing is, everybody thinking that it's always like the Diddy's and all of this other stuff. What's going on behind the scenes, and TD Jakes. I haven't seen any proof that TD Jakes is doing what people are saying he does. And what you were saying earlier about the black church, yes, the black with the black church, man. First off, it's not even a lot of men in the black church. The black church is filled up with a lot of women that may be down on their luck, that's looking for hope. And a lot of the time, these preachers, and I can only speak on the black church because it'd be a lot of far worse things happening in these other churches. We all know that. But me being a black man, I speak on the black church. But the preachers, like a lot of the times, the preachers is just looking for um for money, from the congregation and everything like that. And it's about selling hope, or and it's a business. The church is a business. Black church is a
Oh,
business.
that miracle water.
Yeah, because back in the day when it was brothers in that church, it was about congregating, because there was a lot of racism and well, it still is, but not as blatant as it once was. And brothers had to congregate to figure out how they was going to get jobs, how they was going to, well, come by the church, brother, and we'll speak, because I know somebody that may be able to get you the job. After the 60s and the 70s, when a lot of the jobs was outsourced to the country, and a lot of black men couldn't find work, because at that point we were the labor force at that point. Um, the churches, it wasn't no sense, because you can't woo men with words. Now you can woo women with words, but you can't woo men with words. Men needs action. So a lot of those brothers, they wasn't going, like, and even as time went on, and the church just became a way to get tax-free money, because these churches in the ghettos and in the hood, they tax free. And a lot of the times, it's just when you got people like Creflo Dollar and all of these other different people, even I forgot what's his name, the guy that had the church in Houston, the white guy, I can't think of his name, where he didn't even want to let homeless people in his church when a flood had took place down.
Hmm.
So it's
Um,
like,
Go
go ahead.
ahead, Jose. I'm sorry. You want to chime in?
yeah, first of all, then I think you're talking about Joel Osteen.
Yeah,
Now,
Joel Osteen.
now, I think one thing, we have people that preaching what's called the prosperity gospel. Basically, what it is that is based on faith. Like if you give God like a certain amount of money, uh, therefore God's going to bless you with untold wealth. Okay. Now, unfortunately, people have taken the message of the gospel itself. It's very simple. If you separate all the dogma and the belief systems that are in different congregations, the message of the gospel is very simple. It's breaking down into two commandments: love for God and love for neighbor as yourself. Meaning, if you love God, you're not going to hurt your neighbor. You're going to help your neighbor. You're going to be kind to your neighbor. You're going to be responsible to your neighbor. Unfortunately, we have always had people that use Holy Scripture to get money and prey on people. I mean, let's call it like it is. And the fact of the matter, you have these people talking about, well, God said I deserve to get a jet plane. Well, God said I need to get 20 Missouri Benzes and what have you. Okay, I'm sorry. That's totally different from the version of the gospel that I'm familiar with. Okay, and all that money that these pastors are getting to get their jet planes and their expensive cars and what have you, that could be used to set up churches and churches in poor communities. That could go to scholarships. That can go to programs to feed the hungry. That can go to programs to clothe the naked and what have you. Instead, what some of these people, which are basically wolves and sheep doing, is they getting themselves rich on poor, misguided people. That's why the Bible tells us, do not trust men, because men will fail us. I mean, and when I mean men and women. Okay, and the fact of the matter is, even the most godly male is flawed. Even the most godly female is flawed. That is why we are taught not to depend on man, but depend on God.
I understand that. I want to send a shout out to Blasian King. I didn't see you in a long time. Happy holidays, brother. Good to see you. Um, I don't mean to offend any religious group out here right now, but I kind of feel like, I don't know if I'm right or wrong when I say this. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, but I kind of feel like the church messed up when they let Kirk Franklin bring all that hip hop to the church about "Don't make me bow my head."
I'm
The
not gonna
church
lie,
got
I liked
hip-hop
it that
and everything in it, and
song.
all that dancing and stuff. I said, "Oh wow, church! Church is a little bit too lit. I don't know if I'm supposed to be reacting like this." Like, I think that was the line right there. Since then, I mean, no disrespect to the money, the musicians, the albums, and nothing, but I ain't religious. But that right there, y'all should have had a conversation in the community about that right there. Like,
Well,
I don't know.
as the one person that's a practicing Christian, I mean, I don't know about well, can't whether he's a believer or not. So I don't want to make any judgments. But look, the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, what you have certain people that try to get with the get with the world to make it seem like we're just like the world. And the fact of the matter is, um, we are not like the world. I mean, we're not. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is, what we believe in many ways is contrary to what the world teaches us. Okay, so of course, people are going to look at people like myself as weird or judgmental or what have you. But the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, you have some people that have tried to get with the world, um, the making, for approval. Okay, and the only one that we should be seeking approval is God Almighty Himself. I mean, hey, if you have an issue with me because of my belief system, that is not my problem. That is your problem.
Again, like, I don't mean to be disrespectful to anybody who, down with Kirk Franklin. I don't got nothing against Kirk Franklin, but I don't know if that was a good move when they brought that trend, and that it made too many people comfortable with the church thing. Like, I understand the purpose of it, get the young people involved in gospel and reading the Bible. Like, I get the whole thing, but it got too far after that. It went a little bit too left after that, in my opinion. But Raquel, I know you want to talk.
But
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. Like when it comes to, like, I was raised Baptist, like a lot of black folks, because most of our people come from the South, and in the South with the history and everything that's taking place down there. A lot of us are Baptists. Um, but me, I'm not a religious person because uh, one thing, like with what I've seen as far as everything that's going on, this is nothing new. Religion has been used to exploit people since the days of persecution in Europe, since the days of Joan of Arc, since slavery. It's been used to exploit people and manipulate people into having into believing that being kind and being uh doing the bidding of people would get them closer to the gates of heaven. If you ask me, like, because people used to ask me, well, you're not afraid of hell, you're not afraid. I'm like, how can I be when it's hell in earth, when it's hell in heaven on earth? It's hell in heaven on earth, ladies and gentlemen. Like people that's living in the Hamptons, that's living, they got the latest designer clothes, that's eating eating non what's the word I'm looking for? Non genetic modified food, that's eating organic steaks and eating healthy and enjoying their time at the pool. That's heaven. People that's starving, that's living on the streets in third world countries, and people that can barely find food to eat, that's hell. So I don't see how you can scare or fear anybody can be afraid of going to hell, because that ain't never stopped people from being evil on earth. People continue throughout the all of the stories that we heard of hell and judgment day and everything else. People continue to still be evil and do ungodly things here on earth, even while wearing God's uniform. So me personally, I of course I love gospel, and I always thought that that was my favorite aspect of religion, especially growing up going to black churches, and just how we get down and how it's more lively than other churches and different things like that. But yeah, when it comes, like I said, to me it just seems like I tell people all of the time, people, like even what Jose was just saying, that's what people are supposed to do. We've learned what people are supposed to do since we were children, and we was taught the difference between right or wrong. But unfortunately, just like the seven deadly sins in the Bible, you got greed, you got gluttony, you got these different people that are jealousy. That's the aspect of human beings, and people are only going to do what benefits them. Unfortunately, as time goes on, as we become older, we just see the same characters that we seen when we were young kids that are just being reborn into different human beings that are born on earth. And the same greedy type of people, the same selfish type of people, the same evil type of people, the same people that are jealous hearted, those people that's just human beings, unfortunately. And that's why I tell people all the time, if you want to get down to the bottom of something, unfortunately, it's not a lot of people that have morality and integrity, and just follow the money. Follow the money, and it tells you everything that you need to know. Just like I was saying earlier with the whole Cassie thing, I don't believe Cassie is innocent. I believe she's a young girl that fell for the lifestyle, and she wanted to do whatever to appease Diddy because of the lifestyle. And it was about the money for her. It was about the money for a lot of people. Everything is about money and power. Once you understand that, what a lot of people tell you, it goes past your mind. Now, until you show me
Welcome,
Diddy,
Jojo. Sorry, Rakim. I've never had him on my panel. I want to just say welcome. I'll let you go. Thank you for popping in.
Yeah, anytime. But finish up your point, Raheem, because
hey,
so far
shout
you've
out
been
to you,
spewing.
Jojo. Shout out to
Appreciate
you.
it.
How you been, man? It's good to see you.
Likewise. So far you've been saying some great stuff, Raheem. So continue, and I would love to give a response.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up so you can speak. And so yeah, it's just that it's about money and power, and then people use certain wording to shame people out of not paying attention to what a person is doing for money and power. That's all it's been. And that's the game that's being That's the game that it's about. And then you have women sitting here saying, "Oh, Diddy forced himself on me in 1990, or this happened in 91." And what thing? And then people are coming out of the woodwork because it's an easy money grab. They're saying that, people saw that he settled things with Cassie, and I believe he really settled things quickly, is because he wanted to, what you call that, when you have negative media. And that's what happens. And for a lot of people that don't know, that happens a lot with people that are rich. If a person, you can get into an argument with somebody, or they say something to you and you punch them and they sue, and then instead of going back and forth to court spending millions of dollars, you just settle out of court quickly to get those people out of your sight. And that happens a lot, and people don't realize that. And that's what I think happened in his case and a lot of other people. Like I say, I don't trust Diddy as far as business. I still don't like the way he did the band back in the day. You remember the band, Kishel? Everybody was watching making the band back in the day. I don't like how he did a lot of the artists on Bad Boy that made him millions of dollars. I wouldn't trust Diddy as far as I can throw him in business. But as far as his personal life, I need more proof that he was doing everything that he was doing that people say. And then if that's the case, why are you coming along with it so late in the game? Why? Because you was cool with it. You was, if you was down with it until the money started to dry up. So that's all I got to say with that. TD Jakes, I've listened to some of what TD Jakes had to say, and I've liked some of his sermons and everything. I need more proof with him. What you would call it, Tyler Perry. I really don't have. I respect Tyler Perry being a brother that's made built his own empire, but let's be real. Tyler Perry has a feminist mindset, and he's built a lot of his movies off of making black men these evil characters in order to appease women to be able to, fill seats up at the movie theaters for his plays and everything. So I don't know what's going on with none of them, but until I see some more proof, I don't even pay it much attention. But that's all I got to say.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. You got everybody thinking on the panel. I'm pretty sure, with more stuff to talk about. Thank you for contributing that. Like, I'm pretty sure people got responses. Jojo, you got it.
Appreciate it though. But first, I'd like to start off by saying how's your holiday going so far, Rakeem?
Oh, it's been going really well, Giorgio. I just been mostly working, bro. That's why no one has really seen me or heard from me in a long time, because I've been working even through the holidays.
Nice, man. Well, the good hard work is going to pay off wonderfully well. So just know that.
Thanks a lot. I've been seeing some of your posts and everything, Giorgio, and I've been liking them on your community tabs.
Oh, I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, anything you put out there, I will very much give my support to it as well. So, to respond to like your earlier points when it kind of came to like the touchy topic of like religion and how it was like used to justify things like slavery, though. Well, religion was even used to justify even like the incarceration of the Lovings, if we can all remember that. In addition to even things like the Catholic Inquisition, if people are familiar with that. So it was very much used to justify things that are clearly morally wrong. That's where,
Absolutely. Not to interrupt you, Giorgio, but that's what I was saying. Even back in the days of Europe, religion was used to persecute the people that were the low class of people in Europe.
yeah,
Even
and
before,
that is
even
the
before they
Inquisition. So
expanded.
yeah, you were referring to the Catholic Inquisition. That was also pretty prevalent during that time, and even during like things like the Reformation period too, under Martin Luther. You even had like persecution going on between like like the new foreign Protestant church and them going after the people like the Amish and Mennonites. Hence why they settled over here during the Reformation period. So yeah, religion has been used to justify a lot of twisted stuff. But this is where I ultimately say this is screw religion, because it's more about relationship as opposed to religion. I would say have a relationship with Jesus himself, who would be very much adamantly opposed to like everything that, we were just talking about, and even following things like the gospel of Paul, who ended up writing like 2/3 of the New Testament. And even Paul himself says that hey, yeah, go out and create like disciples or evangelize people. But if it's just not really in their hearts to really accept the gospel, then you have to kick the dust off your feet and keep it moving, as he's made it abundantly clear in the book of Acts. So a lot of those people doing all that little wicked stuff in the name of God, they had it twisted because they were doing things to their own understanding. But if they probably did everything to their own understanding within the parameters of God, then none of that stuff would have happened. But then, yes, you get these people who want to hear from themselves and do things to their own understanding, which then leads to wickedness. So that's ultimately where, if you have like a deep, profound relationship with Jesus, you will actually get all the answers, answers that are rooted in morals and ethics. But a lot of the people back then, they just weren't doing that. And then plus, I can't force anything or impose anything on anybody if that's just not your heart. I'll make myself known, I'll be open, but if that's just not really where a person's heart is, I may as well follow what the Apostle Paul said in the book of Acts, which is kick the dust off your feet, keep it moving, don't cast your pearls before swine.
I agree, definitely 100%. I definitely agree. I wish it was more people that really live by the word of God, like Jose has said prior, and because all it does, I mean, we know what it takes to be a decent human being, but unfortunately, greed gets gets a hold in to people, and a lot of what's written in the Testament, whether it be the Old Testament or the New Testament, it's simply thrown out the window in order for one's own financial gain.
Exactly, though. And if anything, Jesus even says, even himself, is don't sit with the parties that he would be flipping the tables in.
Well, I'm sorry, as I stated before, the message of the gospel is very simple. The problem is people taking something as simple as the gospel and twisting it and to make it conform to whatever that they want to say or do. Okay, unfortunately, people have used or misused scripture to justify a lot of evil stuff. I mean, not just with the Inquisition that happened, that whole unfortunately happened with the Catholic Church, but also a lot of evil that was justified. I mean, even for the first 300 years in the history of the church, I mean, many believers face martyrdom because you have certain people that wanted people to renounce their faith, and then they actually were killed simply for believing in the gospel itself. Um, and unfortunately, you have people, instead of focusing on the one that is able to change your life, they're focusing on everything else other than that person. And that's how come you have people who can, you know, misuse scripture to justify anything.
I really do see that too. Like chiming off of 18th letter in Georgia too, what religion you do see. Well, I don't want to mistake what you guys said, but I know one of you or both of you said something about how sometimes there's like a lot of scandal around some type of religious or some type of religion at some point, with different things we may hear, such as the Girl Scouts or the Boy Scouts, or all different kind of sermons or lectures, like you're saying, Jose, that people take and use in pieces and not full totality and make what they want to make of it. So again, everybody ain't perfect. People got things they go through, but you do hear a lot of scandals when it comes to certain religions or certain churches, based on Western, culture and different things like that. And I'm not here to shame anyone's culture. Like, respect to everyone out there who's religious, like that's not my point at all and what I'm trying to say. But I'm just trying to say that around certain religions, you do hear certain scandals about, grapes and, things about, kids and, churches, and you see movies made out of it, like, so we're not going to pretend that we don't know what this looks like. We've never seen this. We've all seen this, heard about this, whether it was in a movie or a book, or we actually know someone who's went through it. Like, this is nothing new. Like 18 letters said, like, we've seen these kind of scandals and allegations happen before. But for me, I wanted to ask all of the men on the panel, since I'm the only woman here. Like, I know Rakim kind of said what he felt about it, but do you guys just feel like all of these men, not just black men, brown, Latino, Caucasian American, are they all just guilty, or is this just an attack on men who are in a certain place in their life or their careers to make sure they stay within their own lanes or limitations?
As I stated, I do not know anything regarding Diddy, Tyler Perry, or T, T, TD Jakes. So I prefer not to make any judgment regarding um, those three individuals. When it comes to like ministers of the gospel, one thing we have to bear in mind that we all have certain frailties. Okay, we're all inherited what's called a sin nature, and we're the fact of the matter is, we could be used of God for something constructive. We can also be used from the adversary if we're not careful, if we're not if we're not in tune with our Lord. But I don't want to say whether these people are being attacked with whether because they're men, whatever. Because I don't. Again, we don't have all of the evidence. What we need to do is wait until all the facts have been entered, and then we can make our assessment. Until then, we're just speculating.
Exactly, though. And what I was just also going to say, just to piggyback right off of like what you were saying, Jose, and even with everybody else, is that things like cancel culture is something that's very rampant nowadays. And all it takes is just to pull out just one little small piece of your past, like your distant past, or whatever you may have done, or whatever you're accused of doing from long time ago. All it just takes is for somebody to just use that to take you out, to end your career, to permanently like scar your image and pretty much rule you out of the world. So with the whole Diddy situation and the allegation against him from like 30 plus years ago, be sure that you can substantiate that with something. But if you can, then why did you wait 30 plus years to come out with that? It just seems like people are just doing that just because they just don't like him. If like people are just like operating like from like a place of like malice or just some personal grudge or vendetta, then it's just something that I just find to be just childish to just come out about it like 30 plus years later. Like you're just doing this stuff, or you're just spreading a falsehood because you just don't like the guy.
I agree, and I got to go with what Irby said. It's an attack on heterosexual men. Right now, what we're seeing is the era of and this is no disrespect to anybody or whatever they however they identify gender wise or their preference when it comes to who they're in a relationship with or whatever. But it's been this war and attack on heterosexuality for the last, I would say, rampant for the last 10 years or so. And right now, what's going on, it's a lot of bullying. It is a lot of bullying as far as with the cancel culture, with what you got to watch. And it's only really one way to flip this around. And it's going to take for heterosexual men to be tired of it and say, you know what, if you're going to cancel me. I don't care. Because people have gotten way too sensitive when it comes to a lot of things, and it's gotten to the point where too many people are afraid and walking on eggshells. And it's only so long that a person can walk on eggshells without losing their patience after long ago. And what's happening is that these people that are doing the bullying are in competition with each other for money grabs, because we saw what happened with Cassie What happened with Cassie made other women say, "Oh well, let me see if I can go get a bag. Let me see if I can go get a bag. I'm gonna try to get me a bag. Oh yeah, he did something to me. I'm gonna try to get me a bag." And that's what happens when you're dealing with people who see that it's an open opportunity to be able to extract resources from somebody free of any type of consequences. So, if it was up to me and somebody did that to me, I'm countersuing. And then on top of that, and people got to stop being afraid. I mean, if I was in that type of lifestyle and I was making money, I'm gonna buy me a moderate home, 3 or 4 bedrooms. Make sure it's paid off. Make sure everything, because I'm not trying to buy no mansion if I'm dependent on his money in case somebody want to cancel me, and I'm scared to death because I don't know how I'm going to keep these bills up from this house and this Ferrari that I got parked outside and everything. People, it's going to get to a point where people need to stop being afraid, because it's getting to the point where it's a lot of shaming tactics and it's a lot of bullying between the alphabet people and a lot of these feminists that are aligned with them. And they align with each other. And it's gotten to the point now we don't even have any masculinity anymore. You got these kids growing up confused, kids that don't even feel an inkling of being non-binary, or being bi-curious or whatever else. And these kids are being shamed into thinking, you shaming straight children into thinking that, well, maybe I should experiment, maybe I'm not this. It is getting sick out here. It is getting really sick out here. And once again, I tell you all, follow the money. This is being done purposely to make sure that the rich elite people are kept in positions of power, while it's confusion at the bottom, and the people that do the work to keep the rich elite people in power are fighting amongst themselves. They've already done it with race. They've done it with gender, and I mean they've done it with race. They've done it with men versus women, and now they're doing it with gender to make sure that they keep themselves in positions of power and keep everybody else uh, distracted. And this is like, when this is sickening. Just if you rewind back to 2004, 2005, where people, everybody can say, yeah, we dress baggy and all of that. But one thing I can say is that the boys was boys and the women was women. It wasn't no boys out here trying to wear no baby fat or Echo Red and all of this other stuff. We had our brands for us. The women had their brands for them. The women wore the tight jeans. It wasn't hard to differentiate between the two.
True, but let's not front like there was a little sprinkle of an extra tight belly shirt and somebody with their finger in their back poke. Come on, Rakim, let's be 100%. With a couple
But you
sprinkles out
talking
there.
about, you talking about, but yeah, those people was pointed out, and they wasn't hanging with the dudes that was
Oh
dressing
no, they
like
wasn't.
guys.
They was definitely in a girl crowd or something.
Yeah, they wasn't hanging with the dudes that was dressing like guys, and it wasn't nothing that was targeted towards children at that time,
Right, it
and
wasn't. Not so much.
it wasn't put in no cartoons. It wasn't. So this should tell people something. The fact how this is being implemented in education and everything like that. And some people don't really want to, some people just go with the flow or whatever else. But if you do that, just don't be upset if things don't turn out in your favor with the way your children are learning at these schools. And then the crazy thing is, education is put in the curriculum by people. I think people tend to forget that, by some people who have biases, some people who have hidden agendas. That's what's put in the curriculum when it comes to education. And just to think, your children will be learning some nonsense, but they come home thinking that they're teaching you something, and they'll come home thinking that what they're learning is a new brand of thinking. That's how you brainwash a mass of people to get people on one accord with the agenda that you have going on.
Amen to that. Well, guys, this is such a great conversation. I don't want to wrap it up, but I'm hungry and I don't want to be smacking. So do you guys want to add anything else to this? I feel like we all in unison. Well, not all of us, but I feel like for the most part, the panel here is saying pretty much that this is possibly an attack on men in general, black, brown, Latino, and Caucasian, or of certain statures, or this is just gossip to talk about. I feel like that's the conclusion we all came on today. Do you guys agree?
100%.
Okay, so I want to just shift to say, are there any New Year's resolutions for you guys as I start to wrap this up? Is there anything that you guys can bring to tonight's ending of this chat to let people know about your channels for the new year, what they can see from your channel, anything you want to share?
Yeah, I'll say this. My New Year's resolution, of course, I will now be working a new job. So as a trucker, being on the road and everything that I've been doing, I'll have more time to be on the be on YouTube because I'll be home every day. And also, my New Year's resolution is I'm gonna start going back on my juicing diet and eating healthy now that I have time to be at home where I can cook my meals and going into the gym and working out and getting myself back in shape and reading more to educate myself on a lot more things. And also I may be creating another channel to speak about more serious topics and have a separate channel for entertainment. So just be on the lookout for that.
Nice. Thank you very much. Jose, would you like to be next to talk or you're
Yeah.
not ready?
Well, generally, I don't make resolutions because let's keep it a real. I mean, I've done some research. Less than 5% actually fulfill the resolution for the entire year. I will be doing a stream regarding it on Monday, New Year's Day, and talk about how can you try to make um, honest resolutions that you are able to keep. Now, as far as my platform is concerned, going into the new year, I'm going to be doing something that I started last week. Was I actually did some unknown facts regarding Cardi B. So I'm going to be doing from time to time showing some unknown facts regarding some of these performers and what have you to try to think outside the box. You're going to see a lot more of the shorts that have been appearing on my platform that generate either their motivational or, of course, trying to advertise my channel. Okay. Um, Also, I'm thinking about trying to do live streams on TikTok. So I have to learn how to do that. But I really appreciate all the love and support that I've gained from my supporters. And in fact, the fact of the matter is, I've reached over 50,000 views on my platform, which actually gained 10,000 views in less than 4 weeks. And within the last 90 days, I gained like close to 50 subs. So I really appreciate all the love and all the support, all of you. The only resolution I ever make is try to be the best version of myself, which is something that I try to do every day.
Amen. Well, I appreciate that. Hope you guys are taking notes while these men up here talking because you're gonna have to catch the replay if you're not taking notes. Thank you so much, Jose, for sharing. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate that. Georgia, thank you. This is your first time up here. Thank you for pulling up and sharing your wisdom and your perspective with us. What do you have coming up for the new year? Any resolutions? Anything about your channel you would like to share with my audience?
Yes, I guess as far as the New Year's resolution department goes, my New Year's resolution is just to continue just to cut ties with people who just want to spread their toxic behavior and drama, especially
Hmm.
behind closed doors. Like,
Yes, absolutely. People are
yeah,
miserable.
exactly. Because I'm tired of that. The people who do that tend to be energy vampires. So I guess you could say the is just continue just to cut ties with just the energy vampires. So like if people are coming at me with that, just expect to get blocked because all that is just doing now is just obstructing my peace and is obstructing the good vibes that like I want to set out for myself. Now I'm sorry if like people tend to have like a bunch of like grievances with like, like one another though, but it's just not really something that I really want to deal with anymore. It was fun while it lasted, but it's just something that I don't want to play anymore. Like I don't want to be added to like rooms on Facebook or on Discord that's just nothing more but just drama, just gossip, and just anger. Like, if you guys made your amends, you guys did what you wanted to do, move on. But if that's just not good enough, please block me as I will do the same for you. But if you can't really respect like my boundaries, please get out of my life. So the coming new year, that's just how it's going to be. Because I'm taking the power back, and what is peace? It's power.
Well, I love all of that. I love everything everybody said. Like y'all strict. Y'all like, listen, new year, new me. We ain't doing the stuff we did the year prior. Well, I mean, anybody else can chime in with anything else. I'm gonna wrap this up if y'all don't have anything else to say. I'm not gonna do a backstage because my stomach is making noise. But happy New Year's to all of you guys. Thank you guys for popping in, pulling up. Can y'all please like write y'all channel in the chat so people can like click your name and follow y'all so they can like easily find you, because I think it takes a while for the chat to actually sync in with the live and the replay for people to find you. But just put your name in the chat, so people can like click your name and follow you guys and subscribe to your channels.
Okay. And I would just
Sure.
say, I want to second what George was just saying, because one thing I can say about me and my thought process and my opinions online, because the funny thing is, it's a lot of people that are online that have had live streams and they've said some of the most vilest things, and they can't stand on them. A lot of people go back and they delete their live streams and different things like that. I'm one person that can honestly say, no matter how far back you go within my live streams of me speaking on people's panels, I don't have to delete them, because I've always thought about what I was saying. I've always tried to show as much respect to people and different things, and carry myself with some type of dignity and self-respect, versus a lot of people on here that that are insecure in heart. They're very insecure in heart. They're very negative, miserable people. And you don't even have to know their background to know who they are, because just by the way they present themselves, it's some type of hurt and trauma in their backgrounds, and based off of how they present themselves online. So, just stay clear of ignorant, negative people that ain't really worth your time. That's all I'll say.
Amen to that. Well, y'all heard it. Y'all heard four intelligent people speak the facts, the tea, their perspectives on tonight's conversation. That's it. That's all for me, guys. Hope you guys have a great, happy New Year. Be safe out there, and replay games. Do your thing. Let me know what you think about the conversation. Shout out to the panel on Conversation Hosting the Grown, the 18th letter, Georgia. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for vibing out for me. I really, really appreciate that. I've been kind of low key, silent, distant, but I wanted to pop out before 2023 with a live stream, and I guess I'll catch you all in 2024. Thank you guys for vibing out with me. That's it. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace out, and
Peace
just
out,
be
everybody.
just be the best version of yourself.
Amen. All right, I'll catch you guys on y'all channel, y'all side of the YouTube atmosphere. Have a good night, y'all.
Good night.